Welcome to WNBA Game Time, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods.
I'm going to sue Alyssa Thomas, the woman who nearly cost me my life on the basketball court. There were 6:52 remaining in the second quarter of that game when I drove to the basket. After I fell to the floor, several players scrambled for the loose ball with me. The moment the ball was no longer within anyone's reach, Alyssa Thomas of the Phoenix Mercury, a 1-3-year WNBA veteran while on the floor, drove her fist directly into my throat. This wasn't the first time I'd received special treatment on the court. This season, I've played through a lingering back injury, and being listed as a game time decision before tip-off had practically become my normal status. Marina Mabrey once shoved me hard from behind, sending me crashing to the floor. J.C. Sheldon poked me in the eye while defending me. But this was different. It was a deliberate attack aimed at a vulnerable part of my body. After doing all of that, she calmly got to her feet and stepped right over me. What made me even angrier was that the referee was standing right there, watching it happen, yet didn't make a single call. Enough is enough. If the league won't protect its players, I'll fight for justice myself.
The worst-case scenario for the WNBA has just transformed into a cold, hard reality. Caitlin Clark is officially out, and the timing could not be more devastating for a league currently sitting under the most intense microscope in sports history. This is no longer a theoretical debate about rookie hazing, online discourse, or whether the game has simply become too physical for its own good. We have officially crossed the threshold into tangible, high-stakes consequences. The biggest star in women's basketball, the literal engine driving record-breaking television ratings, sold-out arenas, and unprecedented corporate sponsorship, has been ruled out for the Indiana Fever's upcoming clash against the Los Angeles Sparks. The announcement did not just ripple through the sports world, it ignited an absolute firestorm. Fans, analysts, and former players are all backed into a corner, forced to confront an incredibly uncomfortable question. Has the league allowed the physical targeting of Caitlin Clark to cross a dangerous line? And is this the exact moment that forces executive leadership to fundamentally alter how the game is policed? To truly grasp why a single injury report has mutated into the most critical narrative of the season, the tape must be rewound. This is not a standard case of a player resting a minor ailment during a grueling calendar. This announcement drops just days after the Fever's highly controversial, borderline chaotic matchup against the Phoenix Mercury, a contest that multiple veteran observers described as one of the most punishing, unregulated physical environments of the entire year. When the timeline is laid out chronologically, the implications become impossible to dismiss. A series of unpunished collisions, multiple glaring missed whistles, a visibly compromised star clutching her lower back, and now, total unavailability. It forces an immediate fork in the road. Is this a convenient coincidence, or is it the first catastrophic warning sign that the WNBA is mismanaging its most valuable asset? The answer to that question carries multi-million-dollar implications for the future of the sport, and a closer look at the hidden medical tape reveals a situation that is far more calculated than it appears on the surface. The official designation from the Indiana medical staff points toward a compounding series of physical ailments, anchored by a deeply concerning, lingering back issue. But in professional sports, health is never isolated from history. During that relentless battle against the Mercury, several specific sequences occurred that left seasoned commentators entirely baffled by the total lack of officiating intervention. The most egregious flashpoint involved a chaotic scramble for a loose ball, where a closed fist appeared to make direct, forceful contact with Clark's throat. Yet, focusing entirely on a single viral moment misses the forest for the trees. The true damage was cumulative. It was the systematic denial of landing space when she rose for perimeter shots, a dangerous defensive tactic that modern basketball rulebooks are explicitly designed to eliminate. It was the mid-air, non-basketball collisions that went entirely unpenalized in real time. When a young athlete repeatedly absorbs what her own coaching staff explicitly labeled as cheap shots and then immediately lands on the injury report, a direct line of cause and effect is established. This sequence places the WNBA League office in an extraordinarily precarious position, but it also opens the door for a brilliant piece of long-term strategy by the Fever front office. From a purely operational and athletic standpoint, The Indiana Fever organization is executing a masterclass in risk management. When a franchise cornerstone is not operating at 100%, a front office does not gamble their entire future for a solitary midseason victory. The Fever management looked at the calendar and recognized a flawless tactical window. Following this matchup against the Sparks, the schedule opens up into a rare, highly coveted 10-day competitive break. This is the ultimate context behind the decision. By removing Clark from the floor immediately, they are not just protecting her from one game, they are gifting her an expansive, uninterrupted 2-week recovery zone. It allows her body to reset, permits intensive physical therapy, and completely removes her from a relentless physical grind before Indiana embarks on a brutal, unforgiving West Coast road trip. That upcoming stretch features back-to-back, late-night matchups against the reigning champion Las Vegas Aces, a gauntlet that demands peak physical optimization. Holding her out now is incredibly smart asset management. However, beneath the surface of this medical rest lies a secondary, far more aggressive message aimed directly at the highest levels of league leadership.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of Alyssa Thomas, but I don't think she punched Caitlin in the neck on purpose. I think she was trying to get up. She had her fist closed on Caitlin's arm, and it slid off of her sweaty-ass arm and landed on her neck. You see it? Her hand is on her shoulder first. There's a ref right behind this. Whether or not she did it on purpose, it happened. You got to call something. You got to protect players. You have to. All right, so the Indiana Fever lost. Caitlin got punched in the throat. I want to take a look at that play. I also just woke up. So she crosses, and then she tries to get in a lane right here. And if you notice, let me see if I can stop it. Yeah, there it is. You can see it right there. She's getting tripped. Now she's going to the ground. The ball's already gone at this point. Alyssa Thomas said, "Come here, little b-." And then she uses Caitlin's neck to brace herself when she's like getting up. Caitlin's still down to the ground in like a fetal position. Now, not too long after this, Caitlin Clark leaves the game with a supposed back injury, right? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought she was faking. I did. Until I went back and watched this shot right here. This is like right after she just got punched in the throat. So she takes this shot. It's an obvious foul. She goes to the ground. Now, if you look right here, she grabs her back. Now, I'm very critical of Caitlin Clark, but I stand corrected because I think she might have actually tweaked her back right here. I do. Look, because watch this. Look, she reaches for her back immediately. Now, if you're going to fake a back injury a whole quarter later, I don't think you would be grabbing your back right now. Also, Nike, you need to send her some other colorways, bro. Y'all got her out here in these blue-ass shoes every game. Send her some more shit.
Think of the play, the suspension, the reviews, all of it.
I just think it's so tough because the WNBA is physical. And when I think about a loose ball, I know that I've died at the bottom of some loose balls before. I'm not gonna hold you.
Like some hands.
I played with AT, who I've been on her team and caught an elbow, but even still, there's players like that are just physical players. So it is tough when you get in those scrums. You see the fist on the neck, but it happens so fast that I don't know. But for me, it was like, it's hard to distinguish a loose ball. Like, are you going to look at all the loose balls? Because, like I said, I've died a couple times on loose balls before. I'm not going to even hold you.
That's relatable because you were my vet. I was a rookie. On that same team was Alyssa Thomas. And as teammates, when there was a loose ball, I know I came up
out the way
with Alyssa because when she sees red in those situations, she's going to do whatever it takes to try to get the ball. A couple of things to note. In the flow of the game, I didn't really notice the egregious contact because it happened so fast.
So quick.
But then at the same time, Caitlin got up, so I didn't think that there was like any major impact at the moment. Of course, when you slow things down and see that right there, the optics of that don't look good at all.
Right.
And I think that because when it comes to a player of Caitlin's caliber, the narratives can run crazy. And that's why the WNBA is very proactive in saying, this is what people see and this is what we have the ability to do. And I say ability to do for a reason because the league office, I just, kind of relearned this. The league office has the option following the review to a game for a flagrant foul, or they can classify any flagrant or any foul not called into a suspension or a fine. So even in the, people say, oh, there wasn't a foul. Well, the league can actually take any play and induce a suspension. To me, I think that was a learning moment, especially considering okay, this is the precedent you set now with loose balls. We'll see how this moves. And I think the last point I'll say is that the refereing is frustrating.
Yeah.
I have met so many great referees in the WNBA. They care about their job, but you can tell that a point of emphasis is to call more fouls. We've seen a record number of scoring, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the highest scoring season we've seen in WNBA history, largely because they're calling more fouls. So when you choose not to do so, it looks abnormal.
I don't care what nobody say. I believe they're hurting her on purpose now. Caitlin Clark is out now for the rest of the Phoenix Mercury Indiana Fever game. And honestly, the league hates Caitlin Clark so much. The teams are conspiring against Caitlin Clark so much. The coaches, the staff, the upper management, the front office, everybody hates Caitlin Clark so much. She's breaking all these records. She's coming in here, annihilating all these people who played in the league for 10, 12, 13 years. She's coming in, doing what they did in 10, 12 years, doing it in less than 2 years. Like, she's out for the rest of the game, and I wholeheartedly believe it's because they don't want her breaking any more records. I know that sounds crazy and that sounds insane, and oh, it's not that serious, and oh, no, it's not. Like, they're trying to... No. I used to believe in, like, a little bit of team play, gameplay, like this is just basketball, but now hell no. They don't want this chick to be great. They don't want her to ascend to greatness. They don't want her in the history books. They trying to do everything they possibly can. They refuse to let this chick get her due. And it wasn't like she was struggling. Caitlin Clark was going off. Caitlin Clark had like 13 points in the fourth quarter. She went like 4 for 6 from behind the logo. Like, y'all trying so hard to stop this girl from being great. Y'all hate this girl so much. So much. Y'all don't want to advance women's sports. Y'all don't care about sisterhood. Y'all don't care about women's basketball like that. And fuck the WNBA for real.
Alyssa Thomas didn't do anything wrong. She's playing ball. They're aggressive. They're competitive. Y'all fools that use Caitlin Clark to spew your agenda should be ashamed of yourself. This is not some angel. Just like how, oh my God, what are they doing to Caitlin Clark? Do you see how she talks to her teammates, how she talks to her coaches? She ain't no angel. No pun intended. But the thing is, though, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, the men out here be like, oh, women be emotional, all this stuff. Y'all are more emotional. They're hooping. They're being competitive. Like, oh, but because you need likes, because you can't create engaging original content, you gotta say, this is our George Floyd moment. You should be damn ashamed of yourself. Ashamed of yourself. And it's nothing wrong with this stuff. You ain't see somebody do a Draymond Green and kick somebody in the private part. You ain't see that.
Can you imagine if this happened in the NBA, where all of the men just decided they hated the star player and made it their goal to permanently eliminate them from the game? But men seem to understand that having somebody in the league that everybody wants to come and watch is beneficial for everybody. It brings in more viewers. It brings in more revenue. It brings in more brand deals. Their paychecks go up. It brings in all of the things that the women in the WNBA claim that they want, and even that they're entitled to, but that they're absolutely willing to throw away because they're jealous. And some of this seems to be driven by racism as well. But this is just one more example of how women are absolutely willing to ruin things for everybody else and for themselves because of their feelings. Let's be clear, ladies. Caitlin Clark is a popular player, and people will watch your games and watch all of you if they come to see her. But people are over this crap. So if they stop watching your games and stop supporting the WNBA, that is entirely your fault.
The whole world was shocked by it. Look at this. And she gets hit in the groin, and this big monster tries to kick her, jumps right on her.
I mean, Caitlin to the ground, and ooh, that's a hand to the neck.
And the USA Network doesn't show you the replay. They don't show you how bad it was. Caitlin Clark is injured. Look at that. Look at this. Jumps right on her, puts a fist on her.
Caitlin to the ground, and ooh, that's a hand to the neck, and then
look at this. Throws her down, jumps on her with the fist, puts her knee in her groin. It's disgusting. Alyssa Thomas is a monster. She weighs like 250 pounds. Look at this. She should be arrested. This is criminality. Look at this. Throws down, no foul, jumps on her. Thomas jumped right on her, wasn't going for the ball. That monster jumped on her. She should be arrested. This is disgusting. Look how gigantic this monster is. How are we letting them get away with this year after year? She punches her in the chest, punches her in the throat. Her body weight is on her back.
I really think that Caitlin Clark needs to leave the WNBA because these people don't realize that everything that they're getting now, all the more money they're getting, the league minimum used to be like $78,000. Now the league minimum for the WNBA is $300,000, with the highest being $1.7 million. And so I think the highest used to be like $150,000 would be the best you can make. Now it's up to $1.7 million. And did you know Caitlin Clark's not even in the top 25?
So you think she should go to the EuroLeague where they can make up to $4 million?
Yep, I think she should. She is the one that brought all these new eyes on the game. In my opinion, there's an ongoing Iggy amongst African-American players that says, let's rough up this white bitch. God forbid a white girl comes in and gets any type of accolades, and let's hurt her.
It looks like if she went to the European League or even the Spanish League, she could be making $4 million plus per season.
I would be so out of there and watch the WNBA crumble. I would watch them crumble. You've not taken care of me. You've allowed me to be a special target. And she's not that big. You know, some of these big body girls can really put some havoc on here. The girl that did the flagrant foul and choked her out got 1 game suspension. 1 game. And here's the worst thing about it. The referees, they missed it.
After Phoenix Mercury forward Alyssa Thomas was suspended only 1 game for punching Caitlin Clark in the throat, one of her teammates and the associate head coach came to her defense. Associate head coach Christy Tolliver posted this on her Instagram story that included a quote from Michelle Obama's 2016 DNC speech where she endorsed Hillary Clinton. The quote says, "When they go low, we go high." When you read the whole quote from Michelle Obama, it just shows how delusional this take is. It says, when someone is cruel or acts like a bully, you don't stoop to their level. When they go low, we go high. Alyssa Thomas punched Caitlin Clark in the throat and kneed her in the groin. If anybody is cruel and a bully, it's Alyssa Thomas. Also, Thomas's teammate Natasha Mack took to Threads, which is the most liberal social media website only behind Blue Sky, to say, it's free AT until AT free. Standing with my bestie. You are an awful, terrible human being if you defend this. It's abundantly clear that these women hate Caitlin Clark.
I need more people like Stacey Dales to be speaking up. Like, the sports world is too quiet for me. I need people to be coming out of the woodwork because this shit is fucking unacceptable. I know people don't like Caitlin Clark. I know they don't want to ever acknowledge what she's done for the WNBA. I know women in the WNBA, black women as a whole, want to act like she's just irrelevant, act like any old person off the street that can dribble a basketball can waltz into the WNBA and do what Caitlin Clark did. I know that's the narrative surrounding her, but I need more people to speak up about this. This is not sports. This is not why we get into sports. This is not sportsmanship behavior. This is not the mentality that we want to see on our screen. This is not what we're trying to teach our young women who want to get into basketball, who want to play sports. I need more people to speak up and to be more vocal about this. This is the face of women's sports in its entirety. No one has made the impact on women's sports that Caitlin Clark has made in a very, very, very long time, if ever. This isn't about good basketball. This isn't about competitiveness. This isn't about winning spirit and fire and passion. This isn't about any of this. This is about an irrelevant ass bitch named Alyssa fucking Thomas who was trying to get her lick back. The ball's rolling in the complete opposite direction. She sticks her knee into her groin and then she jams her fist into her throat with 2 other surrounding Phoenix Mercury players around her so she can do what the fuck she want like a coward ass bitch. I appreciate Stacey Dales for speaking up about this. I think Alyssa Thomas needs to be suspended indefinitely. Caitlin Clark came out and said that some ref named Gerda gave Caitlin Clark a tech for clapping. I think this deserves 3 technicals. Alyssa Thomas, something needs to be done. I need more people speaking out about this. This is not okay.
I'm pissed. After tonight's game, I'm pissed. And I'm clearly not alone in my sentiments, but the league has a serious officiating issue. And the fact that the way that they treat their generational talent is truly disgusting. The calls tonight were insane. Or the no calls tonight were insane.
If you enjoy our content, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd also love to hear from you. Leave a comment telling us where you're watching from and share your thoughts on today's